Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Cito. I'm a co-founder at Musique Trois Femmes. I just wanted to extend a warm welcome to everyone for joining us here at OperaCon. We are deep into day two, lots of fabulous discussions connecting artists and students and innovators all over Canada and abroad in opera. I just wanted to thank quickly our sponsors at Azrieli Foundation for making all of this possible, and also a special shout out to our partners Opera 5, of course, and our host Opera McGill. So this session that you're watching is a libretto read and discussion on a new piece in progress by Grammy-nominated composer Luna Woolf and Pulitzer-nominated librettist Andrea Stolowitz. Andrea and Luna are going to pop on and talk about this piece quite shortly. We are also joined by the Director of Opera Studies, director, conductor, coach, producer. I have a hard time naming what Patrick Hansen does not do yet, but the session will be moderated and led by Patrick Hansen. Thank you so much for being here with us. This talk is really special because it actually features 4 current artists at Opera McGill, at the Schulich School of Music at McGill University. I just want to quickly introduce everyone. If you want to just wave, and I just want to let everyone know who the readers are for Limit of the Sun today. So we have tenor Wesley Harrison. Hi, Wesley. Wesley is a tenor from Windsor, Ontario. He's currently enrolled in the first year of the master's program at Opera and Voice at McGill. Welcome to McGill. Wesley holds a B.Mus in voice performance from Wilfrid Laurier, where he was a first place winner at the Wilfrid Laurier Concerto competition. As well as first place in his category at the Nats vocal competition. We are so excited to have you. Thank you, Wesley, for being here. We have mezzo-soprano Jillian Tam, who's in her second year at McGill University. Her past performances include Handel's Messiah and the Saint-Saëns Christmas Oratorio in Vancouver. She's looking forward to singing Rosmira in Handel's Partenope for Opera McGill's upcoming spring season, which is super exciting. And this summer she'll be attending the Verbier Festival in Switzerland as part of their Atelier Lyrique. Awesome. Great to have you, Jill. Justin Kautz, a baritone. There we go. Hi, Justin. He is a singer, actor, dancer, producer, multi-instrumentalist with a passion for live performance media. Justin hails, I believe, from Edmonton, where he has been on stage with Edmonton Opera Chorus, the Toy Guns Dance Theater, as well as Opera Nuova. Represent. There you go. Last year with Opera McGill, Justin played the role of Dick in Kurt Weill's Street Scene, and now in his second year, Justin is actually a featured performer in the digital opera productions happening tonight at 7 p.m. That was a very smooth plug, if I may say so myself. And Justin is also featured as Prince Topher in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella later in the Opera McGill season. Last but not least, we have American soprano Anna Atkinson, who's completing her M.Mus in Opera and Voice with Dominique Labelle at McGill University. She is originally from Carmel, Indiana, where she received a B.Mus from Indiana University, working with Tim Noble. Loved him. Last season at Opera McGill, she was a nursemaid in Street Scene, and this season she can be seen as Miss Jessel in The Turn of the Screw. Super exciting. There are a few little known facts about Anna and her bio. Let me just throw these in while I'm here. Anna actually holds a minor in choral conducting, and in addition to her work on the stage, she is also the social media manager for Opera McGill and media co-coordinator for the Phoenix Leadership Project. Awesome. And Anna is also co-founder of a podcast called Are We All Met, where she and co-host Sean Haid, also an Opera McGill student, speaks to emerging artists in order to amplify their voices and their needs. Really awesome. Thank you everyone so much for being here at OperaCon. I will let Luna and Andrea and Patrick take it away.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer gets all the excitement to read bios and all of that, and no one's been reading Jennifer's bio, but she's great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Musique Soit Femme, OperaCon, Opera 5, and Rachel Krem for really navigating all of this technical expertise that I don't have. But more than anything, I'd like to do a huge welcome to Andrea and Luna. They are the creators here of this new piece, The Limit of the Sun. And I guess we should start, we're in a libretto workshop, so let's start with the librettist. How about? Andrea, would you like to tell us about this piece a little bit?
Sure. Well, I'll start by telling you a little bit about my collaboration with Luna. So Luna and I met 2 winters ago now at New Dramatists, which is a playwright development organization in New York, and they run a playwright librettist development workshop. And Luna and I met and collaborated, and I said, "Hey, I've got an idea for an opera," and she said, "Oh yeah, tell me about it." And over the course of our time in New York, we became interested in this particular story, which is the story of um, uh, a U.S. journalist who's taken hostage, the journalist's mother, one of the hostage takers, and an FBI agent. And that was very much drawn from some personal experience I had had with a journalist I knew in Berlin who was kidnapped and held hostage for 3 years. And so that sort of became the peak of interest. And then Luna and I collaborated and branched out and did a lot of research into an amalgam of different journalists in different countries and arrived where we are now, which is with Act One of the libretto. And it's only 2 acts, so it's halfway there. I'll turn it over to Luna. Tag.
What to add? Um, well, this has been a fascinating journey from our initial interest in the impact that this kind of story has had on the mothers of journalists to realizing that, in fact, the story we wanted to tell was much more global and uh, ends up really being about the vulnerabilities of all of these characters and in a way, the prisons that each of their cultures puts them in relationship to the other. The journalist goes with the best of intentions into a very dangerous place and is kidnapped for ransom in a post-colonial country where the influence of the West has resulted in these horrible conditions where a young man, like the character in our opera, has no choice really but to follow the path of assisting in this kidnapping in order to make his way in the world. And and then once later in the opera, the kidnapper character and the mother connect, and they're both the least possible, least likely characters to have something in common. But what they have in common is knowledge of the son and also of this mother son and relationship where something has been stolen from each of them. And so it's been a really interesting journey to try and form what we feel is an opera out of this that addresses all of these really global questions of justice and also these very intimate questions of relationships between these characters.
Yes, when I first heard about this piece, which was only this summer, Jennifer had introduced me to the piece, and then we got together and talked. And I remember kind of initially how you and Andrea were talking about it, about looking at these questions of like, where is the world now, and like addressing, the legacy of racism, the legacies of manifest destiny. What is the justice in the wake of colonialism? Who's how is that being upheld? And then this whole notion of incarceration, because this piece starts off actually with Cody, who Justin is playing, the Western journalist, basically incarcerated. He's in a prison of sorts because he's been kidnapped. And it ends with, not to give anything away, but it ends with Wesley's character, Sam, in prison in the States, being held for the sort of as if he was solely responsible for what happened to Cody. And then Louisa and Judith are the two characters that kind of are in between all of this. And I thought it was fascinating to look at these questions with just 4 characters. I mean, that's very pithy. Was there any moment where you were like, you wanted to look beyond the quartet, or was it just you really wanted to take all of these issues that you want to look at and distill them into these 4 characters?
I think we actually began with the idea of trying to tell this with very minimal with minimal characters and in a setting where well, first of all, it's something that both I think Andrea and I believe in, is that telling a story like this in a blow by blow, this happens and this happens, is not really what's powerful about it. So we didn't want to illustrate the kidnapping with a bunch of thugs on stage. That wasn't the style that we were going for. We're really going for something much more intimate, something much more psychological. And Andrea is a brilliant playwright in this same kind of form. She's won prize after prize for a play called The Berlin Diaries, which is only for 2 players, but there's many, many characters within that play, and each of them is transforming into these different characters, and you can recognize that by how they speak and how they embody those things. And so in a way, she's taking that kind of power of dramatic form and utilizing it in this libretto, and I think you'll probably feel that when you hear them speak.
So the order of today, we're going to read excerpts from Act 1. Act 1 is in 5 scenes. We're going to be reading the first scene, and then scene 4, and then scene 5. I'll do a little and now in scene 2 this happens, and then now in scene 3 this happens, and then afterward we would love to hear from anybody who is out there listening to this, watching this, and if there's questions you have for Andrea or Luna, or for the cast, put them into the chat, and we'll look at that. So okay, everybody get ready. I have to call up the script. So I will be reading stage directions and things like that. And just if you arrived a little bit later, the 4 characters are Cody, a Western journalist that Justin is reading, Assam, who is part of the group of people who have kidnapped Cody. Jillian is playing Judith, who is sort of a federal FBI person who deals with international kidnappings. And then Anna is the mother, Louisa, Cody's mother. Just so we all know what we're talking about. Are we all good to go? Okay. This is The Limit of the Sun, Act 1, Scene 1, Taken. The characters stand each in their own section of light.
5 years ago. I was younger then.
I wish I had not gone on that day.
I came to make the unknown known.
5 years ago. Not a white hair in the bunch.
I came to make the unknown known, to see the unseen.
I was younger then, an idealist at a desk.
I wish I had not gone on that day. My uncle says, "Take him. He speaks English."
5 years ago.
My uncle says, "Take him. He speaks English. Take him," he says.
I came to make the unknown known, to see the unseen, to witness.
Younger, an idealist. Not a white.
I wish I had not gone on that day.
I came to help.
Flashback music, bumpy, glaring strangeness.
I'm driving.
The sunlight glares.
Hot in the truck.
The sunlight glares. Through the office window. In my eyes. In my eyes.
In my eyes.
In my eyes.
We are pulling up.
A truck is pulling up.
Pulling over. I'm dizzy. I'm squinting. Blinded. Blinded.
Blinded.
Blinded. Then guns.
Men with guns.
Wait.
I am trying to tell him.
Not this.
I'm trying to say.
Wait. Not this.
Dangerous men.
I kick.
Do not make them angry.
Dizzy. Squinting.
Blinded.
Blinded. These are dangerous men.
On the side of the road.
I try to run.
I'm sick. The light through my office window.
These are dangerous men.
A gun at my throat.
These are dangerous men. He is small. He is small. Smaller than I thought.
To Cody.
Do not fight them. They are dangerous men.
And then someone's there.
Do not fight them. They are dangerous men.
Words. In English. Everything spins.
The number. Tell me the number.
The number. They want the number. Her number.
The telephone number.
A gun to my head.
a gun to his head.
I am 10 again, sick at school.
The number
216.
216. The number
216 639
639. 216 639.
639. 10 again, sick at school.
The number 216 639.
7170. 639 7170.
216 639 7170.
216 639 7170. I'm 10 again, sick at school.
Dialing the phone.
216 639 7170.
Silence. A phone rings.
Hello?
To Cody.
You tell her you are alive. You tell her.
Hello?
You talk. You talk now. These are dangerous men.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Mama. Mom. Mama. Mom. Mom. Mama. Mama. Mom.
I hear him.
Mom. Mom. Mama.
I hear you.
Tell her you are fine.
Hello?
Tell her you are fine.
Mama. Mom. Mom. Mama.
Cody. Cody. Cody.
Tell her we need money, and then you are free.
Mom. Mama. Mom.
I can hear you.
Tell her.
Hello?
Tell her these are dangerous men. They want money. Tell her.
Mom.
Cody.
Mom. I'm near the airport.
No locations. Do not make them angry.
There are 8 of them.
They are dangerous men. And they push me aside. And bam, bam, bam.
Assam illustrates this, pounding his hand in his fist. Cody holds his hand to his head as if the blows are coming to his head.
No. No. No.
He drops the cell phone, a simple flip phone. Louisa's voice, live, comes through the phone.
Hello?
Cody crouches, covering his head, trying to protect himself. Assam picks the phone up off the ground. Assam holds the phone. Louisa's voice comes through it.
Hello?
Assam holds the phone, not sure what to do. Louisa hears this.
Hello?
Cody is silent, covering himself, waiting.
Hello?
Assam holds the phone. He lifts it to his ear.
I can hear you.
Assam holds the phone to his ear. He waits. Assam speaks.
Hello? Hello, Mom. Hello, Mom.
Hello?
These are dangerous men. Please pay the money.
Hello?
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Louisa
Please
listens.
Please pay the money, Mom. Pay the money for your son. Please.
Louisa listens.
Hello, Mom. These are dangerous men. For your son. Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Louisa breathes. Assam breathes. They hear each other breathing. And then the sound of the phone being hung up. Assam and Louisa in light. The phone rings in Judith's world.
And the phone is ringing, and it's the central office. We've got an active situation. We need you, they say. We need you. It's your moment. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir, I say. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And that is the end of the first scene. Now, the second scene, scene 2, is titled First Meetings. Judith arrives at Louisa's house, and Assam has a scene in Cody's room. Judith and Louisa kind of get to know each other in scene 2. They meet, they eat together. Judith is trying to get Louisa to kind of calm down and eat. Assam tries to get Cody to eat, and Cody ends up turning the bowl of food over very dramatically, and which causes Assam to be greatly upset because there are people in his country who are starving to death, and Cody doesn't seem to understand that and care. It ends with a quartet of Judith, Assam, Louisa, and Cody talking, and then the very end of that scene, the lights go out on Assam and Judith, and then Louisa and Cody remain in light, and they connect in their love for each other and consciousness. Is that sort of what is that a good breakdown of scene 2 there, Andrea?
Perfect. I love to say they connect across time and space through their other consciousness, just as Patrick's saying.
And then scene 3 is called Interlude, the Passage of Time, where we have 2 sequences happening, action sequences without text. So I guess lots of really cool Luna Pro Woolf music. And Louisa and Judith are playing Scrabble, actually, I think to pass the time, to, just to calm her down. And Judith's bringing tea in, and they're playing Scrabble. And Cody and Assam are dealing with a notebook. And then throughout that scene, once they start to sing, we find out that the Scrabble words, they're spelling love, or the L-O-V-E, and they're spelling lost, L-O-S-T, that these words are also words that Cody is talking to Assam about in the notebook, because Assam speaks English, but he doesn't, we find that he doesn't necessarily read it or know how to write it. So Cody's kind of talking to him about that. And then there's some talk about Washington D.C. and how they don't deal with kidnappers and things like that. And then that makes us arrive at scene 4, which is called the 4 Pleas, P-L-E-A-S. So we'll begin, and we'll read that in detail. So here we go. Scene 4. The photographs mentioned in Louisa's speech are projected and seen by the audience.
Thank you. Thank you to those who are here today. This is a picture of him.
Slide number 1 appears.
On assignment in China. Some of you know him. Some of you have read his work. Here is a picture of him entering the subway in Mexico City.
Slide number 2 appears.
Some of you know him, and some of you have read his work. He writes to make the unknown known. The money I need to raise is much. If everyone here can donate. Here's a picture of him in Belgium on a stopover.
Slide number 3.
He is calling me. Please, if everyone could donate on the way out. Just drop your donations on the way out.
No, sir. No, sir. That's not true, sir. I mean, maybe I suggested it to her, but he's her son, sir. No, I'm not. No, I didn't think she would do it, sir. I told her because it seemed cruel not to. He's her son, sir. He's her son. I know how it looks, sir. Yes, I know that, sir. Yes, I know it's better to remain uninvolved, sir. Neutral, set apart, uninvolved, alone.
Please, stay calm. Please, I am making progress. Listen, please. I know it has been a long time. I know you are waiting for your money, but please understand, he is not an important man. He is not of high value. They offered a health care, a school. I told them no, as you requested. The United States government does not pay ransom. Yes, I have contacted the family. His mother. Yes, mothers always pay. I am making progress. Please, please, stay calm. Please.
I appeal to you of greater logic than humans. I appeal to you. I wish to be no longer. Darkness drives into my brain. I wish to be no longer. I have waited. Doesn't anyone care? I am waiting. Sometimes I hear a noise outside, maybe a plane, and I think for a second, they're coming for me. Will anybody come for me? Is anyone coming for me? I appeal to you. To you of greater logic than humans, I appeal to you.
And that is the end of scene 4. Now we move to scene 5. It's titled A Trade. This is months later.
And it's happening.
I'm doing it. I am doing this. 278 presentations, 3 private sponsors, and my retirement savings.
I'm telling him, it's happening.
I don't believe it.
There's a pilot. He'll be there for you.
They're tricking me.
Yes, of course. He's alive. He's alive, Mom Louisa. You're going home.
I will go home.
We are monitoring the situation from DC.
It's happening.
The money.
It's been sent. Check with your sources. It should have arrived. There's a pilot on the way.
Is this real?
This is real.
I am monitoring the phone lines.
The money has come.
The trade is arranged.
There is a pilot on the ground.
There's a pilot on the ground.
For me.
For you.
Is this real?
This is real.
There's a pilot on the ground for him.
For me.
We go tonight.
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 Now, in the car.
My eyes hurt. My head hurts.
He bangs his head on the ceiling of the car.
I am waiting in an undisclosed European country.
We are listening, recording.
I am alone.
The car is speeding. The road is bumpy. I am sick.
Assam moves his hand on top of Cody's head to protect it.
Careful now.
They're in the car.
There's a pilot on the ground.
To the airport, where it all began.
There's a pilot on the ground.
There's a pilot on the ground.
We are there.
We are here.
They are there.
They are there.
We are here.
We are here. Goodbye.
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 The door opens.
He steps out of the car.
I step out.
There's a pilot on the ground.
Stops. He looks at the plane. He stares. I turn to look.
It's pulling away.
What?
It's pulling away.
You are tricking me.
No!
Pulling away?
The pilot!
He's circling back. Wait! Wait! He needs to circle back around!
He's leaving.
He's leaving!
I'm in the lights. It's too bright. The plane is leaving me. I stop. I turn. I don't know where to run. I'm trapped.
Come back. Come back in the car. We will try again tomorrow.
You are tricking me.
These are dangerous men. Come in the car.
I run. I am running.
Wait! Come back in the car. He is running.
We hear yelling.
Everyone is turning towards me.
I run.
What's happening?
Cody!
I'm running. I'm in 10th grade again, playing football, waiting for the pass, running, looking over my shoulder.
We'll try again tomorrow.
And I'm running away from the cars, running away from the lights. I run.
He's running away.
We'll try again tomorrow.
I can't.
I am waiting for you. Come home.
I can't.
Wait! But he doesn't stop. He is running, and the guards are getting upset, and my uncle is starting to pull out a gun.
Assam stands. He jumps up.
I step out of the car. I'm running after him. Wait! And then he turns to look at me.
We see this.
Our eyes lock,
We see this.
and he nods at me, and I nod back. And then he turns and off, and he's gone.
Gunshots. Silence. Blackout, and that is the end of Act 1 of The Limit of the Sun. Okay.
Nice job, everyone. That was great.
So, Andrea, what's it like hearing your words again live? Because the words just sit there on paper.
I know it's such a delight to make them three-dimensional, because as you might imagine, a lot of the time all of my words are on paper, and I sit there with them on paper and I look at them and I read them aloud to myself, and I'm alternately delighted or horrified. And so it's really amazing to begin a process, which I love in theater so much as well, which is beginning to make the words do what they're intended to, which is to be part of a three-dimensional space in storytelling with characters and singers and actors playing them. So delightful.
There's a prominent feature in your text, which is repetition, and short sentences with repetition, and I really like that. It really keeps hitting home the ideas. I'm wondering for Luna, what's that like as a composer, knowing that oftentimes a composer will just choose to repeat text the way they want to repeat it, but there's a lot of text here, like the number thing, 216, to hear.
Yeah, well, I think one thing that has been fascinating about this, when Andrea and I met, she had never written for music before. I think that's true, right? So we've talked a ton about how to make lines more singable, but one thing that she just grasps completely innately is how to make these lines dramatic in a way that builds, in a way that is quite musically structured already. So the repetitions, I completely agree with you. It's not like any other libretto that I've ever worked with. Usually I have to figure out the structure that works musically within the text and then repeat things either at my own discretion or discussing with the librettist. Maybe I can repeat this line and it'll make it a structural point, and we'll change it a little bit each time or whatever. I've had tons of discussions like that with other librettists. And with Andrea, it's almost the opposite. She has structured something so complete already that sometimes I have to kind of say, wait, can I have a little more freedom with this? But I love that. I love the fact that a lot of those decisions are made for me that I'm usually the one to make. And I think that makes us kind of a good pair in the sense that I care deeply about the way the text and the music structurally work together. And she does too. And so we, she's okay with me delving really deeply into it, and I love the fact that what she's giving me turns out to be, in some ways, easier to find the ways that music works with it than a text that doesn't already think about those kinds of structures. But one thing that's very already really apparent about some of the repetitions is that I can create a musical kernel that works for something that happens in scene 1, and then it also happens in scene 2, and it also happens in scene 3, and those things can grow with the character, change with the way that those words are used, and it's both challenging and really inspiring. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, phrases like "these are dangerous men," which Wesley gets to say many times in this libretto, but it does come back in other scenes. And the Louisa, when she's giving her presentation, trying to raise the funds for her son, she says, he went to make the unknown known, which is a phrase that Cody says in Act 1, Scene 1. And so, yeah, I think it's great that way. I can't wait to hear some of this music. And before I ask you about that, Luna, I just wanted to tell the group that we've got a lot of people in the comments and over on YouTube who hearts clapping. They think the language is beautiful. So that's really terrific. I was wondering with the students, Anna, Justin, Jillian, Wes, what are your thoughts about this process? I mean, normally as a young singer, you're given an opera to sing, and here you are just acting. And not just, but you've just got the text. So where is your mind on this for your process? What's that been like? Yeah, Wes?
It's a cool experience for me, and it's really interesting being more involved while it's still being created. And I also think it's a very good opportunity that we don't have the music right away with the text. So we have a lot more opportunity to actually focus on the text first. And there's not that temptation of, oh, well, I just want to sing it and see how it sounds and then figure out the character and what the text really says. So I think that gives us a very good opportunity to have a much more solid foundation.
Yes, Anna?
I think also it helps to find the relationship between the characters, that sometimes the music helps to flesh out in terms of the different motifs and how the characters are feeling about each other. And without that, we kind of get to create this vision in our mind that then will maybe change or influence how we end up singing once the music is there.
Yeah, you've been involved in a lot of plays and musicals, so you're adept with dialogue. But Jillian, you're just starting off in your operatic career. So what has this been like for either of you?
Yeah, this has been such an exciting process, and getting to work alongside such incredible people. Especially since this is my first season with Opera McGill, it's been so exciting to get to be part of a work that's so immersive and such a collaborative process. I think especially with a lot of the world of opera, it's a lot of taking older scores and then kind of just following instructions on how to approach them. So this is really interesting, and I think it's really an innovative experience for me.
Yeah.
For myself, I'm really excited by this work because it'll be my first time going from just straight script, only having libretto, and the music not being part of my consciousness. Because usually I'll get a musical theater piece or other operas that I've worked on. It comes as a package. I might read through the script first. But that doesn't mean that the music isn't already set. So this gives an opportunity for me to be reading this with that full question of, well, how is the music going to make this come alive, and what is it going to speak to that maybe doesn't come naturally to me when I'm reading through the script? And so when I'm reading through it and I'm feeling these different impulses and different objectives as a character, and making assumptions about, well, maybe the meaning behind this particular phrase is this, or what happens if I lean into connecting in this way. When I'm making those decisions, I'm noticing how that affects my voice, and that just creates a heightened sense of curiosity for me as to whether or not that will show up in the actual written musical work, or whether or not that's an entirely, I suppose you could say, erroneous interpretation that I'm making in that moment. Even though with the script, it's kind of full freedom. Once the music is set, it will start to narrow that freedom, or at least give some constraints on those freedoms that are available. So it'll be really quite exciting to see how that develops and see how that changes the character choices that I'm making already.
Cool.
Of course, for the others too.
Andrea and Luna, when starting this new project, did you secure your production team, or what did you have before you started writing? And this is from Kendra Harder, who is one of the winners of the 2018 Prix Trois Femmes, FYI.
Super. Well, more and more, all of my projects that I develop for theater and now in opera are extremely complex, take years to develop, and also are expensive. And so the short answer is I start with key collaborators, and in this case, that's Luna. She's my key collaborator. And we sort of follow the path of making something, knowing that initially we're going to have to invest our time in this. It's not a commissioned work, so we thought of it and we go on that ride with it. And so I think just in interest of making sure that our time is not just well spent, but that the art itself is developing where it needs to be, we've taken it step by step. And so we're sort of nicely in a development process with Opera McGill and some other opportunities in the States that are helping us put together the entire libretto. And so I guess it's one step at a time. Would you say that that's true, Luna?
Yeah, I mean, I think this one, it definitely sprang out of your creative interest in this story and then our grappling with it. We did a lot of grappling before anybody saw anything. We fought with each other about this and that, and we brought it to people that we knew would care about it and see what they thought of our ideas. And then when we had something sort of that we felt was worthy of pursuing, we brought it to Patrick and Jen, and also to Ben Krywaz of Nautilus and some other folks. And we were very lucky that these opportunities arose to do something so much at the beginning of the project, like what we're doing here. And I think to what Justin just said, it's very interesting how we're hearing all those variations of tone. And that's those are the decisions that I'm making when I think about how the lines will be sung, is which emphasis is going to get to which. And in February, we'll have a workshop where you'll hear hopefully 2 scenes. There might be more if I'm very productive. And some of those questions will not be answered in their finality. They will be answered in one way, and we will assess when we hear it whether it works. And there may be a chance, and there is a chance, and that's the whole purpose of a workshop, to change things around, to decide that something needs to be really reworked or added to or taken away. And we are so just immensely grateful to Opera McGill for this opportunity to really be able to play and to have these beautiful singers helping us figure this out as we go. So yeah, we wanted to thank you.
Well, the feeling's mutual, but because it's an extraordinary, wonderful opportunity for Anna, Justin, Wesley, and Jillian to be creators and to see. Actually, this isn't our first rodeo on this one. We did get together earlier this semester, and it was fun to see Luna and Andrea kind of argue in front of us about no, I think it's this, no, I think it's this. And it was brilliant, because a lot of times when we look at operas on the shelf, you're like, oh, they must have just gotten along perfectly because this opera is so lovely. So it was good to see those and those ideas coming out. And I can't wait to hear your music, Luna Pearl Wolf.
Thank you. Well, what's funny is that the only scene that I have written music for is scene 2, and we didn't even hear the words for it today, so it'll be a total surprise. But I'll have more when we meet again. There was one question in the thing that I don't know if we have time for it, but it's a really interesting question. It has to do with repetitions and how they'll be set in the music. And this is one thing that's really completely different about hearing a libretto read and actually setting it to music, especially on Zoom where you can't talk over each other. There's very much an A, B, C, D kind of thing. You guys did amazingly on the drama of it, but the timing is a very sort of straightforward. Now you hear this, now you hear that. And in the music, it's a completely different experience. Some of those things you heard will take, you'll take a little paragraph of words and it'll be a 3-minute thing. And others, there'll be 2 pages of words, like the phone number thing. They'll be all over each other. That whole phone number thing isn't going to last more than 30 seconds, probably. Well, I haven't fully decided, but they will be very much on top of each other and there's a lot of places in the text where that repetition and those sort of experiential moments will be very dense, and other times when it'll be much more sparse so that we can really feel the emotion. And I think, to me, that's the real night and day about hearing just the words and finding what happens in the music is the time, the pace at which it flows.
I wish we had time to just talk and talk and talk about this, but our time is up. We will be putting some of this Luna's music with these singers in February, doing a workshop. We're really looking forward to that. Thank you, Opera 5. Thank you, OperaCon, for giving us this opportunity to publicly air these works. And Andrea, very brave for
Thank you.
because it's still a work in process. But thank you very much. And tonight, don't miss. I'm sorry, I have to plug the digital opera projects with Opera McGill, 7 p.m. With more wonderful living composers and librettists.
Yay!
Yay!
Bye, y'all.
We are waving.